What's up guys, I'm Dimitri with Canucks, and one of the reasons why I haven't fully utilized my spare parts for my second workstation PC is because there's not that many compact cases that can fit a full array of ATX parts without compromising on something. And here I have a full ATX board, a power supply, a 980 Ti, dual SSDs and a hard drive, and the H440 that could be its new home, but it's a little bit too big, so let's try this new Riotoro case. But can it handle my needs? Let's find out. The Kraken X61 liquid cooler by NZXT features variable pump speed, 2 high static pressure 140mm fans, and beautiful user control through the CAM software. Click below to get Kraken. And so this is the CR1080. It's priced well for what it offers as a concept, a compact enclosure with fine space efficiency for ATX builds, and I'm showing it next to the H440 since I would consider that to be a well-sized mid-tower, and the CR1080 next to the H440 is not bulky in any way, and the thickness difference is not really that significant. And so this case comes at a perfect time when people are looking to downsize without compromising on any of the ATX hardware that they have available. And so it looks like cases are becoming smaller, as do GPUs, and are starting to look like one another too. I love the simplicity of the exterior with perforation and a thick dust filter behind it, but really dislike the glossy plastics that immediately take away the quality points from a $79 case. Now, many of you will see the bulge on the clear side panel and say it's ugly, but it has somewhat of a purpose. It's there to make sure that there's enough clearance for the GPU cables and potentially taller CPU heatsinks, but you see, it only covers the bottom 3 PCI slots and bulges out after the thumb screws, which means GPUs taller than the reference PCI brackets will not fit with the side panel, as with the case with Jack. The panel simply will not close. The top I/O is outlined with a red perimeter that matches the text color at the front. We have power reset, dual USB 3 and audio, plus we have a ventilation for the GPU at the top that spans both compartments, but without a dust filter, which is definitely needed here. The only removable dust filter that is magnetic is found on the other side panel for the power supply. It's nice, but not including it anywhere else is a huge bummer. Behind the front panel are dual 120mm mounts. Only a single blue LED fan is included, so I think Riotoro needs to work on their design cohesion. There is an optional 80mm mount for the smaller chamber, plus a 5¼ drive bay, which is a fantastic addition to see, fitted inside such a small case. And here we have a better view of that chamber separation with the power supply on its side, and the main compartment just slightly wider with another 80mm fan mount. Disappointingly, only 2 PCI brackets are reusable, which is so unusual at this price point, and Riotoro cannot succeed on the frame alone. We need to see their quality standards raised. At the bottom are case feet plus ventilation for dual 120mm fans. Again, no dust filter here for the bottom. And finally, here's the interior with well-placed cutouts on top and bottom, with all the drives and plenty of cable space in the chamber behind. After putting in my components, I was both very pleased at how well everything fit, but again disappointed at the lack of optimization of this could be fantastic frame design. This case clearly supports a 120mm all-in-one, but it covers the only cutout on the side of the motherboard, so you must route the 24-pin and PCI cables through the bottom cutout, leaving no room for anything else. I had to route my SATA cable through the top cutout, which doesn't look very good. There should be additional openings where the 5¼ drive bay would sit to allow better routing between these two chambers if an all-in-one is used. Now, if you are going just for air cooling, you'll be fine, plus there is enough height clearance for a set of fans at the bottom, although no dust filter, which makes it an undesirable choice. The rear chamber, to the most part, is fantastic with power supplies up to 175mm supported. We have a nice gap underneath the unit to route cables into the other chamber, plus plenty of space in front of it, and all this drive compartments is plenty nice. This plastic caddy pops out just like so, that supports an SSD, and then there's the swirl bracket that opens wide for cable access with dedicated SSD spot on the back with a hard drive or an SSD support at the front. So you can have up to 2 hard drives or up to 3 SSDs. Now you can still open it with all the cables connected, and none of your drives have to be disconnected when cleaning the cables behind it, and I would love to see more like it. The only underutilized space here is that 5¼ 1/4" drive bay that I wish was somehow modular, so the space isn't wasted if not user populated. And finally, here's my compact workstation build complete with standard ATX components, and I absolutely love the frame separation and quite happy with how this turned out. But this feels like a product in beta, with just how many little things that need to change for this to be worthy of the asking price, like inclusion of dust filters, proper PCI brackets, a side panel bulge that has appropriate function, and also better color coordination, and finally no crappy gloss. And all those things that I just mentioned would make the CR1080 such a better case. I'm not mad at you, Riotoro, I'm just disappointed. I'm Dmitry with the Canucks. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.